Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I refer to my register of interests. And as a member of the Levelling Up Housing and Community Select Committee, and having sat on the Bill Committee, I welcome many of the provisions within this bill. However, as a point of principle, no innocent leaseholder should have to pay to remediate any historic cladding and non-cladding defects. And we've heard that point made so well across this chamber all afternoon. The key thing now is what this bill does not include rather than what it does. And we've had much today around the amendments that the government is proposing will be looked at in the other place. And I will reiterate the calls that we must have a full debate on return in this House to ensure those statutory protections for leaseholders. The proposal to make developers pay £4 billion for cladding removal in buildings under 18 metres is unclear on how quickly developers will be asked to pay and what measures the government will take if they refuse. Without immediate compulsion, this process threatens to continue to be drawn out, with innocent leaseholders trapped in properties they cannot sell and paying bills they cannot afford. And I'd also ask the Minister to express whether he thinks it's right that social landlords have paid millions more than developers to fix the building safety scandal at the cost of delivering new social homes. So I do hope we see urgent action that appeases these concerns raised by leaseholders and members today across this House, and also to allay genuine concerns that it's one rule for council and social landlords and another for the government's developer friends. We're yet to see the clarity we expect on specific parts of this bill for the significant numbers of leaseholders who face these huge bills to fix non-cladding defects. And if the Secretary of State is serious about ending this injustice, leaseholders must be protected from the cost of covering all historic defects. And I reiterate the point that's been made by many others, that those that created this crisis must be made to fix it. So can I press again that the government must listen to leaseholders about how this ordeal has affected their mental health. Leaseholders in Luton South have told me how their mental health has severely suffered due to their fear of debt and bankruptcy and the pressure of the situation. And one constituent told me how the threat of bankruptcy also threatened their professional title and therefore their career. This whole scandal has prevented people from moving on with their lives, and it's a form of purgatory. Talking of mental health at the committee stage, the Minister suggested that leaseholders should, refer to their GP, but we know how many pressures they're under. And The Guardian has reported that officials have told leaseholders to call the Samaritans, but both are simply inadequate. So I repeat the ask I made to the Secretary of State during last week's statement for specific mental health support for affected leaseholders. We've had much debate today and through the course of consideration of this bill that has been very technical and about buildings. But I stress the point again, this is about people and how this affects them. And we must ensure that leaseholder and tenant voice is heard as the bill continues through its process. The point has been made more than once, both today and for the last 4 years, that a disaster like Grenfell must never happen again. The insufficient action for nearly 5 years shows the need for an interventionist government to make people safe, and the market alone is incapable of doing this. And I support our party's calls for a government to set up a building works agency that would go block by block, assessing risk, commissioning necessary fire safety work, certifying that work and pursuing those responsible for the costs. So I look forward to hearing the Secretary of State's comments with regards to these issues. Innocent leaseholders need action. Comprehensive measures must be implemented to prevent this from ever happening again. Thank you.